Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a short presentation on DomainAI, an AI-powered knowledge base developed by Tricension. To give you some background on what DomainAI is, DomainAI is a multi-tenant application that takes in data from your organization, whether that be in the form of a PDF, a Word file, a CSV file, or text file, ingest it and allow the users of your organization to ask questions and to return information in natural language responses. Now, domain AI is broken up into three major portions, and we'll discuss those one by one. So the first portion of the application is user management. Now, as domain AI is an application targeted towards other organizations, we allow the capability for users to add their own roles and assign their specific roles to their own users, allowing you to dynamically grow the level of roles and the level of security you want to be assigned to your users by yourself. Now, there is one user role specific that the application comes with out of the box, and that is the admin user. Now, the admin user has specific roles and specific sort of responsibilities in the application that only can be performed by an admin user. So the ability to add roles is one example of a permission that's only allowed for admin users. So the second portion of the application is segment management. Now, what is a segment? A segment is essentially a container of information where you can take in multiple types of information and group them into a single group. Now, a segment has a name and is accompanied by a description in the form of keywords, which is essentially a metadata of the segment. Now, as discussed before, this data ingestion can be in any way, shape, or form. Could be a CSV, could be a Word file, a PDF file, and it could also be the sitemap of your website. Now, considering we're an AI-powered knowledge base, we also allow some other features for the user. One portion which we allow is identification training. So if you're asking questions and they're not being identified by the system to go into and going into the correct segment, you can add identification rules, and that will allow the system to learn and grow and get better and better at tagging the questions with the appropriate segments. The second feature, which is also available, is instruction management or the ability to add business rules. So if you have a large form of data and if you want to add specific rules on what type of information is returned, and if you want to blacklist some information from being able to return, you have the ability to add those rules as well. This will enable you to, instead of going in and making changes widespread throughout your documents, to simply add a rule and go about your way. Now, one other feature we have available is database connectivity, which is to allow us to integrate to any form of database that your organization is using, ingest it, and then allow you to once again ask natural language questions and return natural language responses as well. Now, the application is focused around data security, which means that no data is directly exposed to any sort of service or any party. Only the data that is used to extract that information is temporarily sent over, and once a response has been generated, it is then removed. Yeah. We also allow you to hook up third-party integrations with Domain AI. You can either add Zapier and create your custom apps and connect them to Salesforce or any other CRM you wish. And we also allow you to use open APIs to connect to your own system. Now let's go into a visual demo. So once you log into Domain AI, you'll see this screen, which is on the left side, you'll have your various chats. You have the ability to create a new chat. And on the right, you'll see some extensive options. Now, as stated before, right now we're logged in through an admin user. So we're seeing these three options: data management, role management, and user management. Now let's go into data management for the start. Yeah, going into data management, You'll see a list of your segments as well as any sitemaps that you have ingested. Now, as you can see, all of these segments have a unique description based on keywords, as we discussed before, and these keywords are what are used to identify a segment. Then you also have the ability to add in a segment right here. So once again, you can add your name, you can add your description, and then click confirm, and that will add your segment as this. Now, once you have added in a segment and you go into the details of the segment, you'll see certain portions. So first, as you can see, is the ability to view your files. You can click any of these links and that will download the file that has already been ingested should you need to review it at any point in the future. You can remove these files and you can add other additional files. As now, there is no limit on the number of files you can add in. The second portion is your segment identification training data. Now, as we discussed before, as this is an AI-powered knowledge base, we can add certain information which will allow the engine to grow and to your own tailored needs. So right now, as you can see, we have an identification rule to direct the question, what is Cobra to this segment? What does adding this rule do? Once we add in this rule, our identification AI model goes in and ingests this data into the model, and then that grows the model and makes it smarter for your use cases. Now, second, right after that, we'll see segment rules. Now, segment rules is the ability to add in business rules. So if you have, for example, a resident segment where you have employee information stored, but you do not want certain data, like compensation data or contact numbers, to be returned when users are asking questions, you can just go in here and you can add a rule. This rule you can name the rule anything. The name is for your new use case and for your easy identification, but the description is where the crux of the matter is. So you can add a clear description. So let's say we say, do not return any personal information. And this will take precedence of any sort of data being returned. So even if someone specifically asks for personal information, because this is a business rule that is in place, no personal information will be returned by the segment. And at the end, we have a box where we're displaying any roles that have been connected to this segment, which immediately queues up us into role management. Now, as we go into role management, you'll see any roles you've added into the system displayed right there. And you also have the option to add in your role. And as we said before, that because this is a bespoke solution, you can add in any roles you want. So for example, if we just want a role that has only access to Cobra benefits, we can just do that and we can confirm. And this will add in the role to the system. Now going into the details of a role, you'll see certain pieces of information as well. So you'll see the segments that are within this role. And right here, we give you the option to either add a new segment into this role or remove a segment from the role as well. We also give you the option to assign any sitemaps or URLs you have ingested directly at this point. And below that, we'll show you a list of users that these roles have been tagged to. Now, going into user management, you'll see a list of users. You also have the ability to create a user. So while creating a user, you can either set them as an admin user, or you can assign them any role that you want. And these roles will be directly pulled from the roles you have assigned in role management. Now, going back to the chat feature, let's ask some questions from the application. So let's say we ask it, what is Cobra? Now, what happened here is it went in and it checked The system checked my role, and because my role is an admin right now, it did not limit me on any segments available. And it tagged the question with the Kerber segment, it read the information we have stored there, and then it finally returned the information regarding which was relevant to the question. Now, let's say we need to ask another question. So let's make this question a bit more generic to show you the power of the solution. So right now we're asking the system a sort of personalized question. Now let's see what it comes up with. Now, once again, you'll see that this was pulled from the Kerber benefit segment. Now, one easy way to, or one easy quality of life option you have right available in the chat screen is if we ask a question that does not, and it gets tagged with the wrong segment, you can immediately come up here and you can give it a thumbs down option, and it'll give you the option to select a correct segment. So let's say we want this specific question to go into employee information, and you can just select employee information, click confirm, and this will add in a segment identification rule within the system. And once the model goes in and retrains itself every single day, it will take that information, and the next time you ask this question, it will and it will direct to the employee information portion of the application. And the second option you have is if you feel this is a very excellent response to your question, you can also give it a thumbs up, and this will also reinforce the system to make sure that these sort of questions get tagged into the segment which it was identified with currently. Now, let's going back to our original point, just to summarize quickly what all of that we've went over. DomainAI is an AI-powered knowledge base, which is also a multi-tenant application. We have role management solutions where you can go in and add custom roles depending on the number of segments you have added in, and certain features that are available to an admin user only, which is the ability to add in roles, add in users, and add in segments. On the segment portion of the management of the application, you can ingest in data, and this data ingestion can be on any way, shape, or form. Could be a sitemap, could be a Word file, could be a PDF, a text file, or a CSV file. On the same topic of segments, you can also add in an identification training data, which will enhance the identification of the system. And you can also add in business rule or any sort of instructions. And you can also have databases connected with the system as well. Go back down, you also have the ability to connect with third-party APIs or adding the solution to your own personal CRM or your own dashboard. And you also have the ability to connect the application with Zapier.